And Show channel is currently suspended for 1 week for violating YouTube's medical misinformation policy. Now, some of you may know I have my own YouTube show that I started a little over 3 years ago. Throughout 2019 and into early 2020, before the pandemic, my channel grew very quickly, averaging 15,000 to 20,000 subscribers per month. My focus was on the Democratic primary, of course, and foreign policy. I interviewed candidates such as Tulsi Gabbard and Marianne Williamson and attended the Democratic debate in Atlanta. I traveled to the West Bank to witness the Israeli-Palestinian conflict firsthand and did in-depth pieces on the various U.S. foreign entanglements. Now, many of my videos garnered hundreds of thousands of views, and within a little over a year, I hit 250,000 subscribers. And I'm not just tooting my own horn, I have a point to all of this. Everything with my channel was going incredibly well, almost too well. Viewers and people from other channels were suspicious I was somehow an agent of the deep state. While other channels and hosts were palling around with each other, very few paid me any attention. They thought there was no way my channel could grow as fast as it was without some inside help. But there wasn't any help. I did it all alone, sitting in a bedroom I had converted into a studio with a fabric backdrop, a ring light, and a starter DSLR. Did my own lighting, sound, filming, and editing. I was living with my family while I got the channel going, and Airbnb my own apartment for cash. But after a while of grinding it out, my channel started to make money. Then the pandemic hit. The focus of my attention and everyone else's shifted to the virus and lockdowns. I was against the lockdowns from day one. I argued they would result in a massive transfer of wealth, an unprecedented limitation of freedoms, and would only cause immense harm to children and others who are of low risk for the virus. I was also willing to discuss the lab leak theory. End of March of 2020 and into April, I made a few videos about the theory. One of my videos hit over 1 million views. Then suddenly, my video was removed by YouTube. They didn't have the same strike policy they have now. Instead, my channel suddenly went from explosive growth to zero growth, with my videos barely able to hit 10,000 views. So I went from 15,000 to 20,000 new subscribers per month to literally 0 subscribers. Not one. Very odd. This went on for months. In fact, my channel began losing subscribers. Yet the content wasn't any different than the many radars you've seen me do here on Rising. There was one odd week in July of 2020 when the algorithm hit a glitch and I suddenly gained about 50,000 subscribers in a single week. Then boom, back to nothing. That one event confirmed my suspicions that something was amiss. It wasn't that my views are unpopular with the people, they're just unpopular with the establishment. And I wasn't alone. Others reported having similar issues after reporting on the lab leak theory and criticizing lockdowns. They too saw their subscriber count slow to a crawl at best and video view counts take a dive. But I trekked on. I found other ways to survive, but it took a long time for my channel to start to grow again. And now everyone is allowed to freely talk about the lab leak theory, so I was punished for something everyone can now talk about without consequence. And that's one of the biggest issues with this type of content curation. 1 week, something is misinformation. The next week, it's common discourse. I was hit a year later in April of 2021 for reporting on Johnson & Johnson's vaccine being halted, which ended up being temporary, and alleged side effects that were being reported in the news about other brands. I violated their medical misinformation policy. By this point, YouTube had implemented their strike system. First you get a warning, then you get a strike and can't upload for a week. If you get another strike, you can't upload for 2 weeks. Because there were 2 videos in question, they gave me a warning and a strike and limited me from uploading for a week. But a couple of months later, after some of the side effects were confirmed by Pfizer and the FDA, I appealed the strike and had it reversed to a warning. I didn't get my week back, but I at least shielded my channel from getting hit harder in the future. Well, that future came last Friday when I woke up to a message from YouTube telling me a video was removed for violating their medical misinformation policy. This resulted in a strike, and I'm now suspended for posting for a week. Specifically, I violated their policy surrounding ivermectin. It is against YouTube's policy to post any content that claims ivermectin is either safe or effective in the treatment of COVID-19 or goes against the WHO. So I'm now in the doghouse, or horse stable, if you will. Now, I'm lucky that I've had the opportunity to come here to the Hill, where I've had a platform. Many other independent creators have had to give up and find new lines of work. People who are genuinely good at this job, who are trying to share information with the world, are being cut out using a variety of tactics, from algorithmic suppression to outright bans. Information is being limited to only that which is sanctioned by the state. Private companies can do what they want, but if they choose to only allow the state-sanctioned narrative to be heard, what has become of our culture? Are we a free America, open to hear all sides of arguments, no matter how absurd or how much we disagree? Or are we one of a one narrative nation governed by Big Brother? We need to decide and we need to demand. But my fear is it's already been decided and demanded, and unfortunately not in the favor of free speech and free thought.